Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. My name is Cindy and welcome to my channel, Cindy's Place. Today I'm doing a collab and it's hosted by Life with Patti and Kathy's Favorite Things. And what we do is we have tea together every every Tuesday. And we put up a little video and just kind of share our tea time with everyone. So I'm going to start out by telling you what type of tea that I'm drinking. And it's called Fiesta Tea. My daughter-in-law actually gave it to me. It's a relaxing tea. It's very tasty. It's like almond, nutty almond, creamy kind of a taste. It's very unusual, but it's very pleasant. I really enjoy it. It's really good. And I don't take sugar or cream in my tea. I just take it direct. And she gave me the tea, and I like to put mine in tea bags. And I also make my own tea. I grow my own spearmint, peppermint, chamomile, and I harvest it and dry it and make my own fresh teas. And then I put them into tea bags like this. And you just fill the bag and tie the drawstrings, and there you go. You've got your tea. So that's what I'm having today, is Fiesta tea. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about basic tea etiquette. And a hostess gift is not required when you go to a tea, but loose leaf tea, and especially an assortment, is always appreciated. You have to avoid placing too much food on your plate. Just a few things at a time is what is considered ladylike. And you don't leave your spoon in your saucer or just laying loose on the table. You place it back on your napkin. Scones are not to be eaten with a fork or a knife. That's finger food. You pick it up and you eat it with it's finger food. Usually for teas, you always have finger food. You don't have well, some people do. I've seen it where you have quiche or bread pudding or something of that nature, and then I think it would be appropriate to use a fork. You don't place the sugar spoon on your saucer or stir with it. You just simply get your sugar, put it in your tea, and replace the teaspoon for the sugar so that someone else can use it. And it's just a courtesy for other people. You don't hog the spoon. And when you drink your tea, excuse me, I can't talk this morning. When you pick up your tea, you pick up the saucer and the cup together and take a drink. And you don't slurp or guzzle your tea, you actually sip it. And that's the proper way to drink your tea. So, some of you might be surprised to learn that tea in the early 18th century was sipped from small porcelain tea bowls, but not with handled teacups. However, the practice of saucer sipping, or they would pour it in their saucer, and can you imagine drinking tea from a saucer? They would put it in their saucer and sip it that way. Actually, personally, I've never seen anyone do that, but I guess that was the thing back then. However, the practice of saucer sipping, while it may have been common among the general public, was frowned upon by polite society. The fact that Americans preferred and were accustomed to eating everything hot further explains why tea generally was drunk from the cup instead of the saucer. When one had satisfied their appetite for tea, it needed to be done with grace. To politely decline another serving of tea without offending the hostess, one might adhere to the spoon on the cup ceremony. That is, you turn your cup upside down and you take your tea and place on top of your cup. That way you're not declining your hostess when she offers you more tea, and that's a polite way of letting her know that you've had enough tea. As we know, at times tea was forsaken in the colonies, save for the American-grown substitutes during the years of taxation from Britain. One expression of distaste for tea prior to the American Revolution was shared in a rhyme published in a colonial newspaper, and it was entitled "A Lady's Adieu to Her Tea Table." And this was just before you've heard of the Boston Tea Party, where they dumped all the tea that was brought over from England into the harbor as a revolt against the taxing by the British government of the American tea. And this is the poem that was published in regard to rejecting the tea during that time. I just thought it was a neat little poem, and I thought I'd share it with you because it's a part of history and relating to tea and our, how things function. So everyone evidently had decided to swear off tea as a protest against the British taxation. And the poem reads as follows: "Farewell the tea board with your gaudy attire, ye cups and ye saucers that I did admire. To my cream pot and tongs I now bid adieu. That pleasure's all fled that I once found in you. Farewell pretty chest that so lately did shine, with hyson and Congo and best double fine. Many a sweet moment by you I have sat, hearing girls and old maids to tattle and chat. And the spruce cocks come laugh at nothing at all, only some silly work that might happen to fall. No more shall my teapot so generous be in filling the cups with this pernicious tea. For I'll fill it with water and drink out the same before I'll lose liberty, that dearest name. Because I am taught and believe it is fact that our ruin is aimed at in the late act," and they're talking about the Tea Tax Act, "of imposing a duty on all foreign teas, which detestable stuff we can quit when we please. Liberty is the goddess that I adore, and I'll maintain her right until my last hour. Before she shall part, I will die in the cause, for I'll never be governed by tyranny's laws." Food for thought. So now I have some questions that I'd kind of like to hear back from you. And do you enjoy drinking tea, or do you prefer another type of hot beverage? Personally, I am a big tea drinker. I love all kinds of flavors of tea. And like I said, I grow my own tea. And I mix and match and, to my own personal flavoring. So I do enjoy my tea very much. I do enjoy coffee, but coffee bothers my stomach. So I have switched to drinking hickory roots, actually roasted hickory root. I can't understand why I can't get that out, but roasted hickory root. And I buy it in granules. This year I am growing my own hickory because the prices have gone up so badly in ordering herbs and your own tea and stuff and coffee. So I'm growing my own hickory so I can harvest my own hickory root and roast it. And I will be doing a video on that, but it takes months for the hickory to grow to a point where you can harvest it. So it'll be a while. So I decided to save money and grow my own hickory. Do you have any tea traditions? I don't really have any tea traditions, but I do enjoy a nice pot of tea in the late afternoon or while I'm watching TV in the evening. I'll get out my teapot and my tea and just have a nice little snack. So I do enjoy that. It's not really a tradition, but more like a little habit that I have in the evening. How often do you drink tea? I drink tea quite a bit. I drink it a lot during the day. I drink a lot of iced tea. I live in the Nevada desert, so it does get pretty hot. And hot tea, when you're melting in the desert, is not really desirable. So I do drink a lot of iced tea, So that's it for today. That's my little video on tea time. And I'm glad you all joined me. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm glad that I was able to do this with you all. So I look forward to seeing your videos and see what you're discussing and the type of teas that you like. And everyone have a wonderful day. And thank you very much for tuning in to my channel. And I will see you next week on Tuesday for Tuesday Tea.